G'day everyone and welcome back to my favourite room in the house. Very special video today because I have received a package from my great mate Jeremiah, aka GI Jetman, all the way from Canandaigua, New York, United States of America. This package has taken its time getting here, but it arrived this afternoon and I am super excited. It's quite a big box too. There it is there. Let's get into it. Righto, so I'm going to open this without, hopefully, cutting myself or doxing myself or, heaven forbid, doxing Jeremiah. So it could be a bit of a challenge doing all that at once on camera, but we'll see how we go. I am a little bit concerned because some of the tape seems to have come off, or maybe someone's had a bit of a sneak peek in this box before I did. So hopefully everything that Jeremiah sent me is still in there. We're about to find out. This has been a long time coming. It came all the way from Canandaigua, New York, as I've mentioned before, which is probably the furthest point on the planet away from Adelaide, Australia. I know Qantas have just announced a direct flight from Melbourne to New York, which is 22 hours. It is ridiculous. It is so far away. So hopefully everything that Jeremiah sent is safely stored inside this box, and let's get into it. All right, just going to spin it around this way so I don't show off any addresses. Here we go. I've done that pretty well. It's got some packaging on the top, so I'll tip it up. Let's have a look at what Jezza has sent me from America. All right, take that out there, and there's something stuck in the back there. I'll just be a little bit careful. Maybe the paint hadn't dried on that when Jezza chucked it in the box, but we'll have a look. I think this is one of Jezza's famous foam signs, hand painted. It looks like, yeah, the paper is just stuck to it a little bit, so maybe the paint was still a little bit damp when it went into the box, but I'll carefully ease it off. Yep, it's worked out all right. Here we go. There it is in my beautiful Xandar colours Ronnie trick shot. A beautiful sign. I will stick that on top of my cabinets. Very, very cool. Thank you, Jezza. That can sit over there. Anyways, let's have a look at what else is in the box. Now, there's a couple of bagged bits and pieces in here. I'm going to get them out one at a time, and we will see what he has sent me. Looks like there's all sorts of goodies here. Could be a pretty cool experience. Could be very, very cool. Oh, that's pretty cool. Sorry to be talking off camera like this, but but that's. I'll save that maybe for last. That is a very cool piece. I'll put that down here. But let's have a look at what else is in these baggies. Oh, look, there's a sticker here as well from my great mate Josh, JoeFan84. Thank you for that, Jezza, and thank you, Josh. Thank you for sending Jezza some extras that he could send on to me. So that'll certainly take pride of place on my notice board back there. So we'll stick Josh's sticker up there. All right, first baggie. Let's have a look. Oh, this is classified blowtorch. Now, I think Jezza picked up an extra one of these somehow, and he made a gift of it to me. And I told Jezza, look, mate, don't send them in the box. Take them out of the box because the box makes the postage far more bulky. And I tell you what, just to send the box with the figures loose in it was very expensive. So I do appreciate it so much, Jezza, that you've saved up your shekels and posted something across the world for me when it's been really expensive. But let's have a look at Blowtorch here. He's a pretty cool looking figure. Look at that. He's nice. Very cool. How good's that? Got a nice vest and oh man, he's buttery. His joints are buttery. Beautiful. Really cool. See if he stands up. Yes, he does. Oh, his foot's a bit crooked there. We'll fix that up. He's going to stand up all right. And we'll. I love the colorways there. Obviously, the vintage version of Blowtorch was quite leery. It was very bright. It was almost one of the first neon Joes in the line, but he came with a little helmet there, so I'll put his helmet on his noggin. It's very cool. Yeah, they've certainly toned down the colors for this release, so I like it. It's very cool. And there's a whole bunch of accessories in here as well. Now, I'm not a classified expert. Oop, I've just knocked him over. Hopefully, Jezza's put all of the correct accessories in the correct bags for me, so I won't struggle to identify what goes with what. But there's Blowtorch. Stand him up again with his helmet on. And we've got some other accessories here. Here is a backpack with obviously some firefighting material, fire extinguishers, firefighting material in these tanks. Yes, so you've got extinguishers, and we'll do the old classified backpack test. See if that fits in. It does. This is a good backpack. Obviously, classified backpacks are much maligned, so proud to say, pleased to say that backpack fits in there nicely. And then we've got some other bits and pieces here. We have Blowtorch's very iconic mask. Obviously, he came with a mask in the original run. I might pop the helmet off and shove that on his head. I'm really recording this video on the fly here because I'm super excited seeing all this stuff for the first time, and even more excited that I received a gift from Jeremiah. It is just amazing. I mean, I sent Jeremiah a package a little while ago, and he has returned the favour. And that's the best thing about collecting G.I. Joes. If you get involved in this community, if you put yourself out there and introduce yourself to a few people, all of a sudden packages keep rocking up on your doorstep. And I have certainly been blessed by so many people in the past, and this is no exception. Thank you so much again, Jeremiah. So I've got the mask on, and I'm going to put his helmet on as well. Oh man, that looks super mean. Look at that. How cool is that? Very cool. Obviously, Jeremiah is one of those very bad influences that got me into collecting classified when I was primarily a vintage dude about a year or so ago. So, Jeremiah, thank you for bringing me across to the dark side, so to speak. There is a little sidearm here. Really cool. And I'll chuck that in there. There we go. I think it goes in there. That looks like it's going to fit. Yep. There we go. It's nice and snug. Beautiful. There is, of course. So this isn't firefighting material. Blowtorch is a flamethrower. Of course, he has got a blowtorch. It is barbecue that puts out fires. It's blowtorch that starts them. So I do apologise for that. I have just made a blunder, which I'm sure I will get railed about in the comments. Feel free to do that if you want to. I mean, I'm a big boy. I can take it. I can take it. Just on the comments, if you want to leave one, go ahead and leave one. I love getting involved in the conversation. You might also like to chuck a like on this video and maybe even subscribe if this is your first time watching one of my videos. It'd be great to have you on board. To everyone who is already a subscriber, thank you for coming back. It is awesome to have you around. Anyways, this blowtorch looks wild. Looks really, really cool. I'll put this on his hand with his trigger finger. Looks really cool. That works. That works really nicely. Love that. Look at that. He's not mucking around, Blowtorch. He's not mucking around at all. We've got some blast effects here as well. So I wonder where these go. Does this one come out of the end of the Blowtorch maybe? I think it might. Yes, it does. So you can actually put in longer blast effects. That's very cool. So he has a super... that is very cool. So there's a super long spray of flame there. Very, very cool. Or you could go a goodness gracious great ball of fire jobby as well, which looks looks pretty cool too. I'm certainly going to go and take some photos in the backyard with this guy. Maybe even a reel for YouTube a little bit later. He is very, very cool. Oh, there's a hose as well. So this hose obviously connects... I see. So it connects to the backpack here, like so. Well, that might be the wrong end. Try this end. No, they're both a bit stiff. Pardon me. I'll just take this off camera to plug this in. A little bit fiddly, but I reckon I could do it. A few moments later. Oh, there we go. It is on. All right, and then the other end will obviously go into the end of the blowtorch, because there is a little socket and joint there. So that's very cool. We'll bring the backpack around, plug that back in. How good's that? That is very cool. Thank you, Jezza. That is the first figure out of the box. Blowtorch, all the way from Canandaigua, New York. He is, of course, a flamethrower trooper, not a firefighter. Silly me. Okay, let's have a look in the next baggie, and it is another classified figure here. And you might be able to tell by the large variety of accessories that have been thrown into this bag who this figure might be. And it's one of the best classified figures, I am told, that has been released in the line. And it is none other than, of course, I'll just get him out. Here he is. There he is. It is Budo. He's there. Wow. Check out that samurai gear. That is just... Oh my gosh. This is so cool. Oh, thank you so much, Jezza. I am so blessed. You have spoilt me rotten. This is amazing, man. Well, let's go through some of these accessories. I don't know if I'm going to be able to put all these accessories on his person during this video, but we'll have a look. Look, there is a hair down version of the head. So I don't know which one I like better. Maybe, do I like the top knot or do I like the Keanu Reeves jobby? I think I like the hair down. I don't know. What do you prefer? Let me know in the comments. Kyle Jesso, he is the man. I'm gonna leave the top knot on for now. I'll put the other head over there. Although, do you need the top knot one on to put the helmet on, or do you need the... Oh, I don't know. Because he comes with an array of masks, so I'm not sure whether you need the top knot hairstyle on for the helmet or the flat hair style helmet. Look, there's so many accessories here. He has like this what would you call that? It's like armor, but it's certainly a skirt, and looks like there's a port there for a couple of swords. So there's a super long samurai sword there. Does that one go in here? It must do. Yes, it does. That's pretty cool. And there's a slightly shorter one as well. That's very cool. There we go. That's a nice bit of kit. I feel like, you know, someone could probably make a storage rack for these bits and pieces and put them on display. I know that's what samurais would do in the old days. They would display their armor in their house when they weren't off fighting in war. This is like a chest plate, and that's very cool. Like, oh, I'm gonna have heaps of fun kitting this guy out. It's gonna be amazing. Like it's too detailed to do on camera, and I don't want to make a fool of myself because I'm only a rookie. But that looks that looks wild. Look at that. Hopefully, I've got the swords on the right side there. Yeah, I do. Don't want to make that mistake. I'll never live that down. But that armor is beautiful. Look at that. Absolutely amazing. That's very, very cool. Let's put that over there. There's a couple of helmets here. There's one here which is like the full Shogun sort of scary armor setup. And there's one that looks a little bit more like the traditional ARA lid. They're both very cool, but this one especially is awesome. And like I said, someone needs to build a rack to display these on. That would just look amazing. So you could have at-home Budo and at-war Budo. Be awesome. I wonder if I can get that to sit on there. Nope, I can't. But that helmet is just wild. And this one is 2. So I'll put them over there. This one maybe a little bit needs a bit of warmth in it to get him back into shape. So I'll fix that later as well. There's another sword here with Oh, look, this one is slightly shorter, this sword. So maybe that sword ended up in the wrong sheath. That would explain that. So I'll pull this one out and we'll put this one in here. There we go. I think that's how it's meant to go. That's a little bit better. Yep. And this long one can obviously go into the longer sheath. Awesome. It's very cool. So this would obviously hang off his person somehow, maybe across his chest. Very, very cool. Love that. And then there's some other bits and pieces. So he has like a neckerchief here. I mean, I'd probably have to pop the head off to put the neckerchief on, but that's very cool. It's like some of the dreadnoughts were supplied with a neckerchief like that. So that's pretty cool. And you got a couple of leg guards here. Very nice. Very, very nice. And then a couple of arm guards. They're cool as well. Love them. And I don't know what this is, but this looks like some sort of neck armor, or I don't know. It's like maybe the Japanese version of dog tags or something. What is that? Let me know in the comments if you know what that is. There is a schmock of some sort here, which is very cool as well. That will obviously clip over his head like so. I mean, I've got to play with all this armor and figure out how it all works, and maybe look up online how people have displayed him and so on, just to get an idea of what I can do. There's another sheath there as well. So obviously when he's not wearing his armor, you can actually have him running around with one of the swords on his hip. It's pretty cool. Here we go. Love that. There's a sidearm as well, which will go nicely into his thigh holster. That is an amazing thing. Oh, and look, there's one more weapon as well, and it is I think that's a FAMAS. Is that a FAMAS? That was supplied with Dusty, was it not? I think it was. But look, that's a nice enough weapon, and I'm happy for Budo to be running around with that. I know you've got to get the most you possibly can out of tooling, so I don't blame Hasbro at all for including that. The bipod has come loose, but again, I'll fix that off camera, no doubt. Maybe needs a little bit of warming up. But yeah, look, Budo, very cool figure. I can't wait. I'm gonna totally turn the camera off now and fiddle around with him. Well, I've got something else. I've got a few other things to film, so I'll film those first. Then I'll turn the camera off, and I will certainly have a fiddle around with him. That's Budo. Very, very nice. Love that. Okay, so before I show off the next figure that Jeremiah has sent me, I just wanted to show you one of my own figures. This is, of course, the Frag Viper, who is a favourite of mine. It was the first Cobra I had when I was a kid, and Jeremiah and I have often talked about our favourite G.I. Joes, and Frag Viper is certainly up there. Jezza actually bought a few Frag Vipers when he came out, and he actually customised one for me, and it was included in this package. Now, of course, there is a green Frag Viper. I don't know if you knew that, but the green Frag Viper was sold by Hasbro in Brazil, and his name was Letal. So you can look him up on YoJo if you haven't done that already. But Jezza has lovingly customized one of his spare Frag Vipers into a Letal for me. And look, all the accessories are there. That is very cool. Thank you so much, Jezza. I will certainly put him on display quite proudly in my collection next to my Frag Viper. That's very, very groovy. And the last little baggie. Now, Jezza has been to Joe Fest. I was so proud of him. He saved up his money, and certainly Jezza has his challenges with disability and so on, so it was always going to be a tough job getting down to Augusta, Georgia for the weekend. But I'm so glad he did, and I'm confident. Well, he's told me that his mind was blown. He made so many friends. He had a great time, and getting down to Joe Fest is certainly the the mecca, I suppose, for G.I. Joe fans. You get to see lots of stuff, buy lots of stuff, but most importantly, make lots of friends. And Jezza obviously picked up a few things for me while he was at Joe Fest. I think that's where he might have got these bits and pieces from, or he might have bought them online beforehand. Jezza, you'll have to clarify for me, but I am certainly looking forward to taking a few photos with my 3 3/4 inch G.I. Joes with these bits and pieces. What have we got here? So we've got a water cooler, and every G.I. Joe cabinet needs a water cooler, of course, because G.I. Joes are going to hang around the water cooler and have a bit of a yarn, aren't they? So that is very cool. Thank you, Jezza. The top of the water cooler looks like that version of Deep Six that came with Finback that we have often laughed about. So very, very cool. I think there is a bit of a cupboard door on the front here. Does that open? I don't know. I don't really want to break it, but I might have to check that out when I jump off camera, because I don't want to force it. Yeah, I'll come back to that. I'll take that on advisement. Maybe, Jezza, you can help me out there. Then we have a treadmill for some Joes to keep fit, which is very cool. So I'll certainly make good use of that. And, of course, every gym for G.I. Joe needs a bench press. There we are there. So we've got the bench with some weights. Very, very cool. Some Japanese writing on the seat, maybe? It could actually say something. Not sure. No, maybe just Japanese writing. I don't know. What does that say? TUI-TXY, maybe? I don't know. Help me out in the comments if you can. Designed by TUI-TXY. Interesting. All right. And there's some 25 and 10 kilo weights. That is very cool. But certainly going to take some photographs of my G.I. Joes having a workout. So thank you again, Jezza. What an amazing haul. So blessed to have friends like Jeremiah, and so blessed to be a part of this community. It is just wild. But look, that's all I've got time for today. As I said, feel free to hit a like, feel free to leave a comment, feel free to subscribe to my channel. It'd be awesome to have you around. I have memberships open on my channel as well. They don't really qualify you for much, but I know there's some really generous people around who love sending me $1.50 a month just because they're awesome people. Feel free to do that if you want. But look, the best way you can support the channel is, like I said, by subscribing and hitting like. So please do that. Thanks again, Jeremiah. You have made my week, mate. I can't wait to get to Joe Fest in 2027 to meet you and see all of my friends again. It is going to be wild. We'll see you next time. Yo, Joe. Righto, quick update. I managed to get some of those accessories onto Budo, and he looks amazing. And I've displayed him right there next to Blowtorch, the fire starter, not the fire putter-outerer person. Okay, cool. See you next time.